Hi guys, and welcome back to Daily Drives, and today we have the 2020 Land Rover Range Rover.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Okay, well, keeping with the theme of 4x4s, as you know, and you can click right here, we did the Suzuki Jimny last week. This time we decided to get a big proper off-roader. Now everyone knows, and like I just mentioned, this is a Range Rover, which you could spot from a mile away and define that it is in fact a Range Rover. This one in particular is the Vogue, which comes complimentary with the supercharged V8. Now this thing is by no means a slouch. It is in fact very quick for a 4.5 ton vehicle. And now we're going to take you through the car and let you guys know what this thing is all about. Now, as this is a very, very, very luxurious SUV, everything in this car is actually operated by buttons. So in fact, on some options, you can actually opt to open your trunk by swiggling your foot around. Now, this car doesn't actually have that. However, you just press a simple button and the magic of the entirety of the trunk is presented to you. Now, if you do this, it comes with the iconic Range Rover seat, which is not really a seat, it's just a easier way to actually load up your equipment. However, the buttons don't end there. Now, if you think, you know what, today I'm gonna load up a whole boot full of whatever it is you may carry around, you think, I need to put the seats down. Well, I'm not gonna do that manually. Of course, you press a button, which is here. So, you press this, and the actual seat comes down. It does take a little bit of time, but the front seat is now being adjusted as well. Okay, and keep going, and keep going. And that's seat number one. The actual boot cover itself obviously doesn't just roll back like any other car would. It folds neatly in its place. Now, the only issue is you do have to remove it if you want to load it up. However, in this case, we're going to keep it because now we're going to move over to the second chair, which also with a button, you now press and it goes down. Keeps going, adjusts the front seat, and keeps going, and takes more time, and keeps going, and keeps going. At this rate, we might end up reviewing the 2021 Range Rover.
Several bad puns later.
Now, obviously I want to lower my vehicle to make sure that I can load up everything nice and peacefully. So as you can see, the whole car is in fact now going down. That's pretty much it. Which gives you one massive and a very annoying problem, which is if you go here to the driver's side, you think, right, loaded up my items. As you can see, this is quite annoying. Now, jumping in the back seat, obviously it being a Range Rover, it is incredibly spacious. You get this very nice, yet very difficult armrest solution for your beverages, for additional storage. I don't know what you would put in there, but you could use your imagination. The other thing as well, that not many cars actually end up having, so you have the window controller for this one, which is, as you know, just normal up and down. You can also opt to lower the passenger window, as you may now see, which is quirky. You're presented with total control. Now you do have your air conditioning vents, you have sufficient space, you can control your seat position, you can go up, you can go down. Overall, this is a very nice place to sit in the back. However, me personally, I would prefer sitting in the front, so let's move down there. Sitting in the business end of the entire car, you're presented with the utmost of build quality and the best of pretty much what a car of this price range will offer. Leather everything, you have leather on the dashboard, you have leather, the leather in here in general is overwhelming, especially when you get in it. You get this nice piano, this piano design finish, which is okay. However, the only disadvantage of that is whatever you do, you get finger marks everywhere, and if you have children and they start pressing with buttons and so on, it does get kind of annoying, which in that case you get a complimentary rag to make sure that everything's fine. However, the seating position, the chairs, everything in this particular car feels heavy, feels luxurious, feels very, very snug and comfortable. Doesn't really, seats hold you amazing, actually, for that matter. And amongst everything else, technology-wise, you are full of options. So you have this digital navigation media system up here, then you have your air conditioning controls down here, and down here you have, inevitably, all the 4x4 control segments that you may so require. However, all of this does come at a price, and not a cheap one, but we will get to the price eventually. So down to the business end of this car, which is the 5-liter supercharged V8, giving you around 500 horsepower, and it sounds like nothing. I mean, this car is not loud whatsoever, which really you don't want it to be, because the windows and the interior has tempered glass and everything is deafened and denied. You can't hear anything, even from the outside. So having this is convenient, yet slightly perhaps overkill.
Now, the moment you get into this big hulking beast, you feel like, yes, I made it. I own a Range Rover and I feel great. Especially because of everything happening around here. There's leather everywhere, no plastics, except for the pedals here, but we'll ignore that. You don't need them. You just put it into sport mode and it does everything for you. There are a lot of modes actually in this big SUV. You get these dynamic program, very dynamic, and then eco, off-road, Christmas, Mexico. I mean, you can go anywhere. I wonder if they have one for Bahrain. I don't want to switch these things around while I am driving, but I did see that there's a sand program. I wonder if there's a missile program as well. I feel like I am driving a land yacht. The colors in this particular spec really remind me of something like that, and you would be fooled enough to think that you were paying around the same price, which in car money is pretty much like a land yacht. But it is very luxurious. You feel very comfortable. The seats bolster and hold you in. You can modify that in any single direction you want. You can move it around. You can move the headrest, very comfortable. You can find your favorite position. You can keep it forever, and you would want to stay in here forever. As right now, I am thoroughly enjoying even driving through traffic, but momentarily the people in front of me will realize that there's a Range Rover behind them, and they will move away and give me space because I am driving a luxury SUV. I really like how everything in this car is contrasted by aluminum, brushed aluminum. When there's an important part that you need to kind of figure out, there's brushed aluminum around it. Both touchscreens are surrounded by brushed aluminum. That's something you need to press. The top one is very slow. The one at the bottom is not bad. I mean, it does work pretty fine. The one like this, I don't know. It kind of, you click, you have to kind of wait for it to process. Is that, are you sure? Yes, I'm fine, we're going. Okay, next one. So I tend to drive luxury vehicles quite slowly. I don't feel like I need to be in a rush anywhere because everyone over there is waiting for me. But if I would have to drive a little bit faster because my private jet is leaving in a couple of seconds, it picks up and go. Now you can't feel this, I can. The camera guy, Casper, is really struggling to hold the camera in place because this thing, once you put your foot down, it just picks up and it flies. It's like a charging rhino. And if you see this in the back of your rear view mirror, you are either going to be killed, assassinated, or you will never be found again. There are also a couple of things that you don't find in other cars, like for example this little armrest here. Now I didn't understand it in the beginning because I would just, use the main one in the middle. But once you put your hand on the steering wheel, it's just right there. I mean, it's just so nice. So you can have your left hand here, your right hand here, and it's amazing. And this is great for long cruising, long distance cruising. You can, you know, do all of that in this car. It literally can do everything. But can it do everything in the desert? Because I feel like it's very luxurious and it's kind of losing that with its off-road capability, what a Range Rover should be. And we're gonna go and test that out.
If you find yourself in a circumstance where you are surrounded by sand, rocky terrain, or actually any terrain of any kind, this car is pretty capable, as we shall now demonstrate. One of the features that we did notice actually was the moment you put it in off-road mode, the side steps no longer go down. Obviously that helps because you need the clearance, but at the same time it also avoids damage, I suspect. But let's see what this car is actually capable of doing, because yes, it is a great city and town sled. I do want it to be quite a good off-roader. Because you're not used to driving a luxury car off-road, it is a little bit of a it's a little bit of a confused factor, because what you're in theory doing is driving off terrain in a car that is also incredibly luxurious, and you're almost scared of wanting to scratch it and so on. But the fact of the matter is this car is as good off-road as it is on, and we have reviewed a few off-road cars in the last few months, and to be quite honest with you, this one has definitely trumped all of them. And right now I'm going off an incline that is, let's be honest, not the straightest one. It's not the most difficult, but you don't forget, we are in a 4.5 ton Range Rover, comfortable with the air conditioning set at the right temperature, massaging seats while we're doing this, and I'm just gently, without even my feet on the throttle or the brakes, going downhill. It is astonishingly good. Now, despite everything, as you can see, the only thing this car really has going against it is the fact that it has these very low profile tires, which is the only reason it hinders on such inclines with such sand. However, apart from that, we've shown you from our perspective what kind of capabilities this car has. Now, the downside is it does come at a premium. I mean, just below 60,000 dinars, you will buy yourself a Range Rover. But if you convey 2 points together, the fact that it has all the capabilities on-road, and as you just saw, all the capabilities off-road, you have to ask yourself, what other car would you buy that has this kind of capability? And in our mind, I mean, we like the big old Range Rover, and a lot of people do. There's not really much you can fault it, with exception of a few minor details. Well, apart from that, that's pretty much it. That's from us, Daily Drives. See you guys next time. Take care.
Victory!